30 days of feeling day 16. Oh my gosh, I've done so many videos and I have so many more to make. But we are here. Have the official Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade Lego car looking epic with the random. Oh, there's Dr. Jones Sr. Got the car. About to make this sweet Lego bonsai tree today at some point soon. So I got things. Things are happening over here. It's a good day. Had basketball practice. Autumn made me an absolutely fantastic breakfast. Steak and eggs with some sliced apple. My goodness, that woman can cook. Get you a woman that can cook, John. All that said, today I'm feeling into what it feels like to be the black sheep of the family. The one that's just different. Black sheep of family, black sheep of friends, black sheep of school, black sheep of insert whatever it is that you're just different. You don't know how you know you're different. You just know you're different. For me, I knew I was different when I used to get really stoned. And I used to tell my friends I could read their mind. And they didn't think that I could. And I was like, no, but I can. And I don't mean like I could read their mind, like I could, I hear your thoughts. It was more so like I was so tuned in and so present to them and I knew them so well based on their mannerisms, their microfacial expressions, their little like movements. I just knew what they were thinking. I knew what they were doing. I knew what they wanted to do. And I remembered in that moment that they all thought I was nuts. I was like, I'm just different than these guys. Like, there's just no doubt about it. I've always been interested in way different things, and I've always been. My friends used to tell me that I was super unpredictable. You never knew what you were going to get with me. Like of all the people they knew, I was the one that they expected to do the craziest thing or the most outlandish or wildest. For my family, I was the one who chose to move away and I chose to be an entrepreneur and I chose to pursue totally different things. I also was a lot more risky and I got in a lot more trouble. And I tried a lot more things. I tried a lot of different drugs. I tried a lot of different experiences. And I think I've just always been someone who's just a little bit different. And I think that I am really what I am is I'm just really curious. But at the time, being different, being curious got me labeled as, he's crazy, he's out of his mind, he's a nut, he's bad, he's off the path, he's on track, he's la 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 la, all these different things. Today I'm just gonna feel into that awareness because I think a lot of my clients that I work with are also like the black sheep of their crew. Black sheep and gold sheep are almost like the same thing but reverse. Black sheep is I'm different and I don't feel good about it. Gold sheep is I'm different and everyone like kind of like puts me on a pedestal. And they're very different, but we can probably talk about both of them. So I've never been the gold sheep though. I've been more the black sheep, but not the gold sheep. I've never been that like, probably not until this point in my life have I been someone that like most people that I meet are like, Graham's a good dude. I trust Graham. I like Graham. Graham's awesome. Graham's smart. Graham's creative. Graham's brilliant. Graham's XYZ. For a long time, I was like, Graham's crazy. Graham's off the wall. Graham's off the rocker. Graham's doing crazy shit. Graham's involved in wild things. Graham's just different. Graham's nuts. Graham's this. Graham's that. Blah, blah, blah. Today, feeling into just being the black sheep, being different. So how do I feel about being different? I feel like being different, being the black sheep, I'll start with my family. Being the black sheep of my family has always felt really lonely. Even when I was a kid, I was really into like fiction. I was really into fantasy. I was really into video games. I was really into like alternative worlds. I had a really big imagination. I was the kid in the backyard slaying hordes of samurai by myself in the rain, just like making these scenarios, like, playing with my toy guns, like involved in a world that isn't real. Like I was always that kid. Like I played a lot. I imagined a lot. I played imaginary friends a lot. That took me to a place that I really enjoyed. I mean, I love being in those spaces with myself, and I still have elements of that in my life right now. Even when I like sometimes play with my toys, I still play with my toys. I'm rolling this around on the ground. Just like I don't know how to describe it. I like it. But with my family, I just was difficult. I was a huge pain in the butt. I was super obnoxious. Really wanted attention. Maybe didn't get it the way that I wanted to. And it kind of like led me to just start to pursue my own path in life and try and figure out something that I could feel good about. which was different than other people in my family. Like my mom and my dad were both pretty straight edge, like pretty like people, and my brother was, and my sister was more like me, but less like me in the rule breaking. She didn't break rules, but I broke everything, literally and figuratively. I just like tested everything, played with everything, tried everything, tried to get away with everything, and I was just always that guy. And that led me to feel like a little isolated and misunderstood for sure, especially in my younger years when I wasn't really communicating how I was feeling, what I was going through, which was basically just like I just didn't fit into the systems that I was a part of. I didn't fit into I didn't fit into the culture of the school. It was very like who's popular and who's cool, and I didn't fit into that. I tried to, and I made it work, but I lost like who I wasn't being honest and authentic to myself at all. I got very confused about who I was. It didn't work in a lot of the teams I played for because there's a lot of reasons. I'm not going to even get into them. It's not worth it. I guess long story short, when I think about me as the black sheep, I think about the person that's just gone a totally different path than everyone else in his life. And I'm one of very few people that I know from my school, my hometown, that moved away and pursued entrepreneurship, built something different, a different career, one that really wasn't really real at the time, and pursued it to the level that I'm at now, which is, I mean, professional, powerful, brilliant, beautiful practice and beyond. And it's been a journey of just acceptance of my individuality and my openness. And I actually have a really great quote I wrote in one of the books that I'm writing, and I want to share it. It's to stand in your power is to stand alone. And that's kind of what I feel like the black sheep is. The black sheep is to stand in my power, is to stand alone. I realized that no one cared that I was different. They just didn't get me, and they didn't have time to understand me. And I can, at this point in my life, understand that more than I ever had before, that a lot of people at the time of me feeling misunderstood just didn't really have the energy to spend to be curious about what I was excited and curious about. And I don't blame them. People are working, have their own lives, their own things they're working through, own things they're dealing with. There's no space to deal with me and figure me out, especially my parents. How could I ask that of my mom? She's working so hard doing so many different things, and then to come home and try and figure me out when I'm like acting like an asshole. It's just not really, it's not realistic. So I think for me, like my journey of working through being the black sheep has been, and I don't consider myself one, honestly, really. Like I barely think about that. I know that I'm very different and I have my own unique path, and that's Graham, right? See, it's interesting. The black sheep has just turned into Graham. And I think that that's where a lot of people go wrong, is they identify with the black sheep so hard and they just never let themselves understand themselves. I understand me, and that's all I need. And I feel great with that. I don't need anyone else to understand me. And in the moment that I accept that, I stand in my power, and I'm no longer a black sheep. I'm just Graham. Graham just does things differently, and Graham just does things his way. And now it's not different than, it's just Graham. And I think that for a really long time, my inability to own that led me to a path of being misunderstood and feeling really pissed off at certain people in my life for not getting me. Certain friends of mine who I just feel like didn't really care to learn what I was doing. Certain women in my life earlier in my life that just didn't really get me and weren't trying to, and it was upsetting me. Parts of my family that I just felt like never have accepted me, or maybe not accepted me, but never were curious about me, which is like the opposite. It's like they accept me, but they're not curious, which kind of feels even worse. It's like, okay, like, so you just kind of like, it's all good. You don't want to get to know me. And for someone like me, I'm an extremely sensitive person. I'm an extremely sensitive person. And to not feel like anyone's curious about me or cares what I'm doing, that has over time felt like sad at times. I just feel like, man, it's like, and my dad died, so I don't have him to talk to about this shit, which I would love to. And I do my best to communicate with him when I go on my walks or whenever I feel like I really need him. And I feel like his presence is still felt. But that has been sad at times. I think that's probably the thing that's been the most challenging. Is just like moments of no one really is paying attention to what I'm doing that I would think would be interested in what I'm doing, considering the impact that it has on the world and me and people around me. But I can't, and I continue to come back. I just can't really expect that of other people. And I think that's what being a man is. It's taking responsibility. That it's just not anyone else's responsibility to care about me. It's my responsibility to take care and care about myself. And so, the whole notion of the black sheep, I kind of like disagree with. Um, I don't know, not disagree with. I don't have sympathy for. I have empathy because I can understand where people are coming from when they feel that way. But I don't have sympathy because I know that it's really up to them to take responsibility for who they are and just learn to accept who they are. And I think a lot of people who feel like they're the odd one out just have a really hard time accepting because everyone in their very close environment is not accepting of them or thinks they're weird or different, or everyone looks up to them, puts them on a pedestal, and expects things from them. That's the golden sheep. And the golden sheep's dangerous too, because for that reason, they're just constantly have to be perfect, or else they lose the crowd of people that are supporting them, and they feel like they're letting them down. So both are real. Both people go through. For me, working through the black sheep has been just a process of me accepting myself in every way, shape, and form, being there for myself in every way, shape, and form, having trust in myself in every way, shape, and form, and to the point where I am so conscious of who I am and so understanding of who I am and have so much knowing of who I am that I'm just Graham. And when I'm just Graham, no one has power over me. And no one could ever have power over me. And this is like the most important thing that I can ever share is I know who I am, you don't. I know who I am, you do not. Nothing you can say can penetrate me. That's me. That's for me to communicate to myself. And the moment that I give you permission to tell me who I am, I lose all my power and give it to you. I will never do that. Ever. I've done it too many times and I won't do it again. In that place, coming from this space, like that means a lot to me and it's important to me. And if you're someone that is going through that, I'm different and it feels like I feel really cut off from people and I feel really detached and I feel really disconnected. It's the reconnection that has to happen in here and in here that you need to be paying attention to. And when you do that and you reconnect, you're not going to feel like a black sheep. You're just going to feel like yourself. And that's where your growth and expansion in your life is going to begin. The black sheep, I think, honestly, is just like it's honestly a nickname for someone who is playing the victim to who they are because they're not really sure how to embrace themselves fully in a season where it's very cloudy because of how close they are to people who don't understand them or how early it is in their transformation experience. And I think that a lot of people in their early transformation need those types of markers to feel like they're at least understood by someone. But I encourage you and I implore you to go within and find a new group of people, get around people who really are supportive of your skills and your ability and your genius. And most importantly, spend all the time you can reflecting and getting clarity on who you are and digging deeper to better understand yourself and others. And I promise you'll feel so much more confident and you'll feel so much more clear and you won't feel bad about yourself and you won't feel disconnected. You're going to feel empowered. That's what I'm about. I'm about empowerment. I don't really think I'm not in the personal development industry. I'm in the personal empowerment space. And that's all I want to do is just make other people feel the way that they know they can feel. And I think probably a way that I feel. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on the black sheep and that's how I feel about it. And for me, I feel like I've really let go of the expectations of others on me. The expectations I put on others about how I want them to interact with me. I would love for my friends to see me more. I would love for my family to be more curious. I would love for people to, I think just those two categories. I think I'm okay with the way people interact with me, like randoms. I feel like they're good interactions, and I don't feel like I expect anything from them. I would love for those things, but I don't need them. I can live, and I continue to meet new people every day who have a genuine curiosity for me, and I know my friends love me, and my mom and my sister and my brother and all my people in my life, they love me. That feels good. I don't have to block their love because I don't feel like they understand me. And I think that's one of the most important things I've learned in the last few years of maturing into a man has been I don't need to block people because I'm not getting what I want in a specific way. I can allow it to come through in whatever way they can show it. And that to me feels fucking amazing. I feel so grateful. And I secretly know that everyone in my life, they secretly know. I know that people appreciate me because they want me around. And that in itself is a form of love and a form of respect and a form of desire to be with me. And that's great too. So I think long story short, when I say what's it, feeling into being the black sheep, feeling into being different, I'm feeling into the letting go of the way in which I used to want energy and attention from other people and giving myself permission to give it all to me, to allow Graham to fully develop into the person that he is, and then be accepting of everyone else as they are, giving what they have to give to me in the way that they can give it, and me receiving it in the way that I can receive it. Sort of like if I eat a bunch of food, it's sort of like this: go to a potluck. I like to eat very clean. I bring my clean food, I eat it, like, really, really nice steak and, like, arugula salad. Someone else brings food to my potluck, my birthday party, and I'm expecting, I told them, hey, I really want it, like, everything to be healthy, and they bring, like, some fried mozzarella sticks. And I look at them and I'm like, damn, like, they don't get me. Like, I could let that make me feel sad, or I could just appreciate the fact that they're at my party and they brought something. And I don't have to even eat it all. I can have a nibble, and it's not going to kill me. It's not going to hurt me. But it's more about just being open and okay with them as they are than it is about me making a scene and being upset about it not being perfectly the way I am or the way that I want it to be. And I think that that's the message that I'm trying to convey, is just like, I think that being the black sheep, being the different person, or being the gold sheep, and I can have another video where I can just go into depth on these things more. It's probably not a bad idea. Podcast, something like that. I think, like, if I can and if you can let go of it needing to be a certain way, and let go of the labels and start to just embrace who you are on a deeper level and accept who you are on a deeper level and become whoever you are, me, Graham, becoming more Graham. I think that in that moment, I became much more comfortable with other people just not understanding me fully and not being upset that they didn't. And that doesn't mean that I'm still not curious. I don't play that tick for tack, eye for eye game. I'm just myself regardless of. And that's what I think being a powerful person is about. It's about being myself regardless of, not holding expectations to, and giving myself everything that I need to be. And that's what I wanted to share today. Kind of a nice little all over the place video, I feel like. Maybe not, though. I don't know. I just like doing these. This is really important work for me to just like consistently check in with myself, but also have conversations about how this stuff plays out in the day to day. And I think that there's a lot of space here. I think a lot of people struggle with being different in their family, being different in their friend group, being different at school, being different in their life. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But you attaching to that label is making it worse. Instead, redirect that energy of I'm different and I need to shell up to I'm different and I need to connect with, and then I'll feel the connection from others. And I think that right there can be life-changing for you. So, day 16, 30 days of feeling, presence, peace, and power always. Legends find a way. I appreciate all of you for being a part of these videos and for tuning in and for following me and learning. And there's just so much. It's just the beginning. And I'm excited to finish this series this year. And then I'm going to probably revamp it, change some things, and then I'm going to make it some sort of course that you guys can all do, a little bit more formal. I think that'd be cool with like documents and worksheets and shit. So got a lot of things I'm working on. We out here, but life's good. I feel grateful. I got a haircut, for those of you who obviously are seeing it now. I really dig it. People are loving it. I'm loving it. Just a nice flow. Nice. So anyway, be good, be safe. Appreciate all of you. Let's just find a way.